This is what keeps people poor. This,
Okay.
the rupee, the peso, the yen, the yuan. He says, never work for this. I will say this much. What's more important is ethics and morals.
Okay.
Nothing I do is illegal, unethical, or immoral.
Right.
Those are the three more important than anything else to me. The battle today is between Russia, China, and America. In between is India. The world's coming apart this way right now. We're going to go to war.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a podcast with someone very special. And as you might notice, I don't do a lot of podcasts, but I could not resist an opportunity to talk to this man. So this man is probably the godfather of personal finance in today's modern world. It's none other than Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. Thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to come on my channel. It's an absolute honor to be talking to somebody who actually built my own foundations of learning personal finance. Thank you so much. In today's podcast, I was thinking let's break it into three parts. The first part we would cover about the macroeconomic trends that's evolving the world of finance today, because it's very important to understand what's happening on a global picture to know where our money should go so that it makes the most ROI for us. The second thing I want to talk about is the duality in how the rich think about money versus how the rising middle class think about money, because I think that mindset about how money works is very, very important before you even invest your money. And the last thing I want to talk about is what should the rising middle class of India, and I mean the 25 to 35 years old, which is what majority of my 2.1 million followers are, what should they be doing as they chart out the rest of their career in terms of controlling the money that they earn instead of the other way around, right? So maybe we can start off with a little bit about you. Most people in India know you as the author of the world famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And maybe we can talk a little bit about what's more behind the scenes of who you are, how you began your journey. We can take right from the beginning, from wherever you think is relevant.
Well, I was a kid who liked money. That's all. I was very curious about it. I went to a rich kid school, mostly white kids.
Yes.
In Hawaii, they call them howlies. And
Call them what?
Howley. That's
How-
Hawaiian for white person.
Howry.
Howley, yeah.
Okay.
And they were rich. And the Asians were poor.
Right.
So I kept wondering, how come one race is rich? Why is one race poor? Same as India. You had all the same white people here who took all the land and resources and all that.
That's right.
And so I smelled a rat, and I thought the rat was school. And I kept asking my teachers, when am I going to learn about money? And they gave me this bullshit. The love of money is the root of all evil. I go, stop bullshitting me, you son of a bitch. But that was their way of preventing me from getting rich,
That's right.
by telling me if I wanted to get rich, I wasn't going to go to heaven. I go, holy mackerel. I'm only 10 years old. I couldn't drink the Kool. In America, call it the Kool-Aid. I just couldn't drink, go to school and work hard and make the rich richer. So that's how it kind of started. And so I kept asking my poor dad, I said, well, how do I learn about money? He says, I don't know, because he's a professor. And, professors are poor people,
Right.
but they teach kids. That's stupid, So he says, why don't you ask your best friend's father? I said, who's that? He says, Mike. I said, why should I ask Mike, father? He's going to be a rich man. I said, why is he going to be a rich man? So my poor dad said, Mike's father is an entrepreneur. And I said, so what are you? I'm only 10 years old, right? He says, I'm an employee.
Right.
I said, so what's the difference between entrepreneur and employee? And my poor dad said, well, an entrepreneur has to know about money. I said, yeah. And what about an employee like you? He says, I have a job. And then I started to hear it. Go to school, get a job, get a job, get a job. I'm going, school's lying to me. And I said, I don't want a job. And that's how the whole thing started. So when I was 10, I just started studying with my rich dad. And so I was 10 years old, I ride my bicycle to his office. And I had to work for him for free. So he ran a hotel.
Right.
And I had to pick up rubbish and work, doing odd jobs. And rich dad never paid me. He said, if I pay you, you think like an employee. But my dad works for money. He says, yeah, but that's why your dad's poor. He says, never work for this. This is what keeps people poor. This,
Okay.
the rupee, the peso, the yen, the yuan. He says, never work for this. And so that's kind of where the whole thing started. But being 10 years old, I was more confused now. So I had to work for Rich Dad, and